Yeah, my name is McAfee. I'm a singer-songwriter living in Murray, Kentucky. The pandemic kind of upended everything we had going on, so yeah, I would love to get into the studio and record the album that I previewed, but it's just a matter of rehearsal and getting people together. Just a lot of work that would need to go into it, but eventually, hopefully sooner than later, that's the next big project, is recording that album.
Give me pinstripes on Broadway, prize fights on Sunday, gunfighting, horse riding, trains that go one way, jazz hands and big bands and a penny whistle tune. Give me an A-bomb and a man on the moon. Give me a disco, I sweat out the lines. Give me a frontier, I'll sleep in the pines. Metro and retro, the uptown funk. God, give me whatever you got in the trunk. Mountains and blue skies, boomtowns and gold mines, protests and bloodshed and misleading headlines. Ammo, some camel, a chip on my shoulder. Oh, give me a hill and give me a boulder. Give me a general with reckless abandon. Give me a carnival on the floor of the Grand Canyon. Mardi Gras beads on San Pedro cacti. Send me a savior and don't let me ask why. Give me TV so real that I can't look away. Give my best to the polls on election day. Vices and fantasies and 3D glasses. Oh, give me a degree for my YouTube classes.
I'd like to be thought of as an ally for the progressive-minded minority causes that are starting to gain some momentum. I'd like to think they're gaining momentum, but ultimately, you can't really feel good about what you're doing if you know that there's people out there that don't have the chance.
Hate crime turned double homicide from Portland is on my mind. I'll spare you the details, just turn on the tube for American entrails. But if I didn't know you when you were alive, I feel I've no right to watch you die. And if I knew you, I probably wouldn't want to. We cling to our vices, our gods and our guns. We poison the water and curse at the sun. We preach our values and act on our fears, then pray that an angel will save us from here. From the root, now rip it out, it'll all be over now. From the root, now rip it out, it'll all be over now. Rocky schoolgirls atop the rubble say down, down to the USA. Our tongues were tied as we began to see the other side. The trail of tears runs through the backyard next to Nathan Bedford Forest State Park, up the road from Fort Pillow. Blessed, it was no place of respite. Survivors of our darkest atrocities are dying to be heard, and the greatest hypocrisy is feigning our empathy for temporary peace of mind. From Birkenau to Old Bastille, from the border cages to the killing fields, nobody wants to see the world at war anymore. Then we already ignore that it's been from the root, now rip it out, it'll all be over now. All the hate ain't helping you. Let the light come washing through. For the love of any God, can we learn to help each other get along? From the root, now rip it out, it'll all be over now.
A lot of the ones that will be on True Love and New Rome are older, and they're kind of deal with relationship issues, maybe interpersonal relationship issues. You kind of have to go through a lot of bad ones to find a good one. I haven't been the best partner at times either to other people.
I drew the line, you call it what you wanted. I took my time when it was time to be honest. I never lied when I said I see darkness upon us. And now the bottomless bottles are turning, rotting from coddling the fears most precious to you. Our memories were seared through long and hollow years. I'm leaving you restless and blue. Now an early morning breeze floating through my scene blows a reminiscent scent that I can't place, but it's triggered a place that I've seen. Now it's dancing all around you and tugging at your strings. You cut them with your eyes for to hide the gleam of a fading dream. My mind was on a train bound for New England. Oh, if we could feel the pain, why didn't we speak it and just leave it to breathe on its own? Oh, your heart ain't my home, I'm never alone, can't you see it? Your heart ain't my home, I'm never alone, can't you see it? We'll be dressed up in bells, turn the camera on ourselves, pleaded to be magnetized. We walked around with coins in our eyes. There's a long rain on the rise. my surprise, oh, I could have guessed it. The truth in my heart, disaffected by the values I adopted from you, I couldn't stop it. Oh, until the many million miracles felt like insignificant drops of rain. Until the many million miracles felt like insignificant drops of rain.
It felt very imminent to start focusing on current events, what's been happening around us, without trying to be divisive. I just think that these are very important times to pay attention. Politics are born out of the kind of people that we are and what we accept at that level, and we've come to accept what I think are some pretty scary fundamentals.
Miss Android, can you hear me? Could have sworn I was speaking clearly. Miss Android, can you hear me? Could have sworn I was speaking clearly. But when you're near me, your light bulb eyes go dark. Rattling off like a boiling pot, speaking biographically, you fabricate the plot. Speaking geometrically, you make a point of leaving someone on a tangent. But when I ask you, can you not do as you're told? Your bolts tighten up, circuits go cold. Miss Android, can you hear me? Could have sworn I was speaking clearly. Miss Android, can you hear me? Could have sworn I was speaking clearly. But when you're near me, your light bulb eyes go dark. Miss Android, could you remind me of when you were a young girl, singing through an open field before the telephone for comfort and your aimless wheels? You were sold and molded carefully into something you were always scared to be. Miss Android, can you hear me? Could have sworn I was speaking clearly. Miss Android, can you hear me? Could have sworn I was speaking clearly. But when you're near me, your light bulb eyes go dark. Miss Android, I'd love to know how you always seem to slow it down when I know your switch is engaged. Are you busy in their manufacturing printing off the latest page for someone else to write on.
Miss Android, that one, I had scribbled that phrase in the back of my notebook, wrote Miss Android, spelled like a play on the type of cell phone, but with the woman's name, Android. But just people in general and how addicted we've kind of become to technology and how we inadvertently lose touch with the tactile world. And I can speak for myself on this, that it can have a devastating effect on your mental health if you spend a lot of time on social media. It was sort of about, trying to speak to that person again, trying to get through to them.
I can feel your hand through the prevalent glass, and I can taste your silence like I can hear the past calling up a one-way street in a voice coated in bourbon and brass. And I can feel your scarlet nails upon my shoulder bare. Your eyes are miles away and of my gravity unaware, until the echoes of my ancient pains are drowned in the soulful sounds you've had to learn to fake and look up to see. You're at the top of the stairs in a cream-colored slip with your cryptic airs. And no, I wouldn't dare but unlock my eyes and offer me a unseen glimpse of white as you smile, betting on my fractures with your tempting slow action. Is our realignment a matter of time like I believed? Or could it be that you and I just aren't willing to see all the changes we would need to make to find that intimate harmony? But all of my intuitions are only relevant to their scenes. Delicate'll turn dangerous and then someone's got to flee. But I'm brought into exposure at the thought that I might owe you all the love I said I'd give you endlessly. You're at the top of the stairs in a cream-colored slip with your cryptic airs. And no, I wouldn't dare but unlock my eyes and offer me a unseen glimpse of white as you smile, betting on my fractures with your tempting slow action. How I long to feel you sleeping in the morning light. How I long to to see you wake and rub your hazel eyes. How I long to mean it when I say for all of time, you are mine, you are mine, you are mine. But you know as well as I that if we so entwine, it would end our sense of wonderment, and that was always more sincere than any love that I fell in. But I can feel your hand through the prevalent glass.
Pete Rose, in his autobiography, talks about how his job in the federal prison where he went for tax evasion was to sweep the floors. And he said those floors were going to be cleaner than they'd ever been because that was my job. He said it doesn't matter what you do, it matters how you do it. And I think that applies to the arts. I think that applies to every facet of life. You know, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter what it is, it matters how you do it and how you treat people that, you know, you encounter along the way.
Running from the ghost of a chemical man, he's got a knack for superstition into my father's hands. No kind of initiative to make amends, but if he can't fix you up, then no one can. I wanna know. The friendliest of demons are the flasks for free. He speaks to the gap between the mask and me. His eyes on the moon, my mind on a string that's tied to the hands of a clock in his dream. I wanna know. The need to use in the first place. Running from the ghost of a chemical man, he comes knocking every evening with the heaviest hand, all with that impossibly steady demand. Washes it down with promises I cannot understand. I wanna know. I wanna know why I ever felt the need to first place. I wanna know why I ever felt the need to use in the first place.
So some influences would be, oh man, definitely John Prine. I think lyrically, folks like Townes Van Zandt and Neil Young, Bob Dylan. I mean, I grew up on those guys, so you know they were definitely huge influences. But musically, I'd say bands like Dr. Dog, It's kind of they're contemporary, but they remind me a lot of the Beatles. They have a very, very interesting vibe in the studio, and they get some really, really retro sounding tones on the guitar and stuff. So when I go to a band with Leonard the band, when we work together, I kind of keep those guys in mind because I like the way they do it a lot.
Send it through, I just can't take no more deja vu with all the seasons it's subjecting me to. I couldn't keep up with the bird that flew. Behold the truth, and it's never long until it's holding you, buried underneath the burden of proof. But just this once, could you let it all slide right through? And I know it's never easy to ask for the thing you didn't know you needed, but you know it's so important. But if that's so, why am I so discordant? And I know it's never easy to ask for the thing you didn't know you needed, but you know it's so important. But if that's so, why am I so conceited and concerned with proving what I've learned? Just toss the crown, it's only seconds till it hits the ground, and it will shatter all the shallow sounds that you used to use just to get around. Now let it die, faces are fading, we're all passing by. Everyone's looking for an alibi to confirm our sense of place and time. Now I know it's never easy to let your guard down, defenses receding, but you know it's so important. But if that's so, how could we dare ignore it? And I know it's never easy to let go of the body that's bleeding out, but you know it's so important. But if that's so, I know I must be leaving in a haze, clueless as I came.
Some of my material maybe that sticks out when I think back on it usually are the songs that all came out at once, that I didn't spend several weeks or months or even years writing, but just kind of fell out. I wrote a song called Anna Karenina about the character from that novel, and that one I'm probably most excited about at the moment, just because it kind of fell out. One of those songs that just sort of spelled itself out for you when you sat down to write it, and those are always really exciting.
Through an empty intersection in the rain, her intoxicating eyes, my blatant pain, I was walking like a man in love. Oh, I was walking like a man in love. If you would have seen the way she drifted in the room, you'd have bit your tongue in half. It's probably best I couldn't make a pass. With a clouded past and an electric gaze, she cut me to the bone. She's got me cleaning up and riding home. She sent me walking like a man in love through an empty intersection in the rain. Her intoxicating eyes, my blatant pain. I was walking like a man in love. Oh, I was walking like a man in love. If you ever catch a flash of her smile serene, you're likely to never forget. Is it the rain that makes the memory wet? Tangibly dancing through my mind most days. Give it a couple months and nothing to say, and she's the one that always gets away. She sent me walking like a man in love through an empty intersection in the rain. Her intoxicating eyes, my blatant pain. I was walking like a man in love. Oh, I was walking like a man in love.
Yeah, lately I've been listening to Andrew Bird, his album My Finest Work Yet, which I thought was a pretty funny title, but it's excellent. Very, very intimate, very raw, live feel to it. And then Fiona Apple's recent release, Fetch the Bolt Cutters, was just gives you chills to listen to. That was exceptional. So stuff like that mostly. You know, I listen to a lot of WKMS too. So Tracy Ross has introduced me to lots of great artists that I hadn't heard before.
Iron gate swinging open, coattails come floating up the walk. Mustached and monocle, lecherous and ever quick to talk. Looming on the power line, the crow cocks an eye upon the street, until the only sound that's left is the door closing on shuffling feet. Remus ought to be here. Abel was kind enough to lend a ride. And Columbus missed a turn, but assured he's close behind. The judges are out dining with the clergy, and it seems they're running late. But the mayor's on the horn, promising there will be cake. The overdosing doctor is retching on the kitchen floor, and the handmaiden witnesses don't plead for forgiveness anymore. They say if you've gotta move, you better make it and you better do it quick. 'Cause some are out for blood and the rest are out to get their fix. Knives are flying by across the living room into the atlas on the wall, where Mother Earth stands evenly with open eyes and bleeding palms. Someone's got a racket on the kill shot and someone doubles down. But above the cigar smoke she knows, broken is the heart that seeks a crown. Ben Franklin's on the roof, pole, dancing on a lightning rod. Lincoln says, you're such a goof. He says, I learned it all from Mary Todd. Paul Revere is shouting from the street, but no one seems to hear him. Oh, the sky begins to darken, the storm is drawing near. Beneath him in the attic, the heretic is rhythmic on the saw. Well, it's treason to believe it, he's repeating, his eyes reaching in raw. And he drives the final nail, steps back to view as if into a mirror. It says the Trojan horse is done, you know I'd better be getting out of here. The president is in the basement playing Russian roulette, with 3 drunk widows and a blind man sitting to his left. Dry fire leads to laughter like a masochistic roar. But if they keep it up like this, I wouldn't want to be the one to clean the floor. In the backyard near the scaffold, the hangman lights a cigarette. Uncle Sam begins the raffle, but he's so drunk now that he'll forget how he lost a bet to Caesar, took to raining fire from the sky. Oh, they'll bury him in Washington, but send his soul to Babylon to die. Down the door to a flood of unyielding memories. Someone moans, I must be dead. Another begs, did you see what they did to me? The piano in the hallway starts a melody, forgotten but endeared. Another night at the Hotel Amerigo, nothing to see here.
Cowboy's Lament. The music for it was inspired by Saint-Saëns, Carnival of the Animals, the French composer. The Swan is the name of the song that it was inspired by. I heard it for the first time somewhere, like on a TV show or something, and I was just floored, and I did a bunch of Googling to find it. I haven't become that obsessed with a piece of music in a long time. It really moved me. So I sat down and worked out a guitar part that kind of emulated the first opening notes of it. And by the time I had written the rest of the song, it felt like a little cowboy ballad or something. So I decided to sit down and write the lyrics from that kind of perspective of being lost on the range. And I think we can all identify with that feeling sometimes.
Little Luna, won't you guide me home? My fire's dying and the desert's cold. My heart is aching and my pistol's empty and I'm all alone. Lazy river, won't you drift me down? Wash me up at the nearest town. Line my pockets just enough to buy the house another round. Mother Mountain, won't you stop the rain? Thunder is rumbling o'er the western plains. The train blows the whistle, but I'm caught in the bristle and in need of a shave. Just lay me down unto another day. I've got a pinch of tobacco from Santa Fe, a drip of whiskey from Denver, and one eye on L.A.
On the horizon, I don't know. Yeah, honestly, not much. This was a blast because it was pretty much all I had coming up. I could be playing shows right now, and I think it's important not to. I'm just kind of laying low like everybody else and doing the best I can. You know, I'll probably do some demos at the house or something. When it feels like the time's right, we'll get back out there and you'll see us around. Till then, just kind of try to squirrel away some nuts for the winter.